Now, a bullet-ridden building is what houses the Rwandan members of parliament today. Those are bullets fired almost 27 years ago, when thousands of injured people were being treated, came under fire by government forces at the time. In this report, Gifty and Apia listens to another survivor who mans the campaign against Genocide museum, housed inside the parliament's building, as she explores why, after 27 years, the bullet-ridden part of the building is neither rebuilt nor repaired.
After the victory of 4th July.
Chantel is the first to meet us when we arrive at the campaign against Genocide museum. She tells us it houses the sequence of events of how some 600 soldiers strategized to rescue the country from some 100 days of chaos and deaths. They were members of the Rwandan Patriotic Front, the party now in charge of governance in Rwanda. Chantel takes us around the building, inside of which filming is not allowed. On this side of the building, however, I am fascinated at dozens of what looks like bullet holes, some wider than the usual bullet I know could inflict. I am told this happened when opposition party members in 1994 had come into the capital as part of a process to form a government of national unity.
They came here because one part of the building served as a parliament, another one was a hotel.
Visitors to this museum, like myself, are taken through a dated plan of how the said 600 soldiers, led by General Paul Kagame, now president of the country, launched their own strategic attack against the then Hutu-led government forces.
They were the ones who started to rescue victims and fight with the genocidal forces.
Chantel says many of the soldiers died, although they managed to save others, bringing thousands of them for treatment inside this building.
When lots of people were being slaughtered countrywide, this was the only safe place where people could find refuge. And from 6th April to July 1994, meaning during genocide, the building sheltered thousands of Rwandans who were able to reach here. Because the building, as I told you, was hosting the politicians, it was attacked.
There have been some skepticism about how the said 600 soldiers could outdo many more heavily armed government forces. But for now, the Rwandans here that I have interacted with share this as the story, and monuments have been mounted at the various places around the parliament building from which the anti-government attacks were launched, in honor of those soldiers, some of whom are still alive today. That is how the chaos ended. Targeted attacks by the RPF forces on key operational centers of the then government. Chantel is a genocide survivor herself, but she'd rather not share her personal story, although she tells me doing this every day with visitors brings healing. For every story, they say there are other different sides, depending on who tells the story. In fact, critics have said there were Tutsi retaliations which equally resulted in some deaths. For now, here is the part of the story shared with us at the Campaign Against Genocide Museum, which is housed in the Parliament of Rwanda. Are leaving this parliament building ridden with huge bullet holes as daily parliamentary business is conducted here. This should not only serve as a reminder, but deterrent enough. This is the top of the Rwandan parliament. This is not just a house where they make laws, but it is a symbolic building for the Rwandan people. 27 years ago, on top of this hill, was when the rescue mission was launched to rescue the country from anti-genocidal forces. Also, in this building, thousands of people who were injured were treated right here. 27 years on, the country is looking ahead to a better future. Gifty and Apia, Joy News, Kigali, Rwanda.